Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Good to Know Shreveport Bossier. This is a podcast showcasing all the good things, the positive things that happen in our community. My name is Jeff Binefor. You can't see him, but over here to my right is my co-host, Paul Reeser. He's a little, go ahead, lean on in. That's how we normally like to reduce him to. Anyway, he's a local businessman, a member of the Committee of 100. Every podcast we focus on topics and things going on around the Shreveport Bossier community that have a positive impact on the community. And so we have new episodes available every other Wednesday. You can find Good to Know wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, I will let you do the honors on our special guests.
Well, thank you, Jeff. As always, I appreciate it, because as always, we have outdone ourselves.
Well, have we?
Which, as you always say to me, that's a low bar, but I don't agree. No, so we talk about great things in the community, and I get to learn about great things when I research these. And today we're going to be talking about the YMCA. And I always thought I knew about the YMCA. Hey, I used to go swimming there when I was a kid.
So you know everything then?
So I know everything. But man, I met the guys from the YMCA locally, and they're involved in every area of our community, and you're going to find out a lot today.
Well, I don't know about that. I've been a Y member since 1973.
From Indiana.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, Illinois. Indiana.
Well, let me introduce them, because we've got the top dogs here. We've got the CEO of YMCA Northwest Louisiana, Gary Lash, and the marketing director, Jeffrey, spelled
with
correctly.
R-E-Y.
Jeffrey Goodman. Hey, thanks for coming out, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate the time.
Yeah. Let's delineate. This is Gary.
Yes.
Raise your hand. And that's Jeffrey with an R-E-Y over there.
Jeffrey, say hello.
Hey, guys.
Perfect.
So let's start with the correct spelling of your name. Everybody gets it wrong, right?
They do. I don't. Jefffery,
The G thing can go. No. Jeffrey. Okay, we've got that out of the way. Let's start with you, Gary. You're the executive director. You're the head honcho of all of it. And the YMCA, you've been spearheading great. I don't know if we want to call it a renaissance, but man, the YMCA has taken off over the last few years.
Yeah, I'm the guy they tell what to do at the Y every day. So yes, I've been a member of Y since '74, but actually came to work for the Y in 2003.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your background, Jeff.
Sure. So I grew up in Shreveport. I've been at the Y almost 5 years now. I have a filmmaking background, and then I sold software for 7 years, and then happily and gladly landed at the Y in April of 2019.
And I saw you shaking your head yes when I talked about Gary spearheading kind of a renaissance for the Y. Tell me why you were so emphatic with that.
Yeah, it's interesting because I grew up here, like I said, and my dad's a local orthopedist. A lot of people know him, Dr. Goodman. And growing up, he was really busy, and I almost never got to spend any time with him. The only time I really got to spend with him growing up was when he would go to the downtown YMCA on Saturdays. And so had very fond memories of the Y growing up and a very strong connection to it. But the Y in 2023 in Shreveport Bossier is not what the Y was in 1970s. It's I really feel like we have a greater ability to do things in this community than we ever have.
And Gary, tell us about some of the. I'm aware of a lot of people are,
Sure.
but you kind of talk about some of the things that you've done.
Well, we came out of a lot of debt with great help from benevolent community, from donors and corporations, things like that. So it's been wonderful. So we've improved our downtown location with new equipment and things. We built the BHP location with some donors from again, BHP Billiton, the local community, and then our membership comes. And so we are in the process of building, renovating the Little League ball fields.
Yeah.
We purchased that a couple years ago.
Which is right across the street. Yeah.
And so we're in the process of in hopefully the next 2 weeks getting ground broken on that to start that, because it helps kids. We're going to build ball fields. We're going to bring kids from Head Start, agencies to come in and play T-ball there and increase and just give kids some things to do, more things to do in Shreveport Bossier. We're building a facility in South Bossier at Forbing.
South Shreveport.
South Shreveport, we would
South
like
Bossier?
we would like to be. So in South Shreveport, we're building a facility there in Ellerbe Road where we sold part of a camp that I took a little grief about.
Yeah.
But you give up something good to get something
Right.
great, and so we're going to have a facility with ball fields behind the Kroger marketplace there.
And is that going to be kind of a copy of the BHP?
Not necessarily. It will be full service. They have a gym,
Yeah.
workout space, classes, group classes, child watch, ball fields out back behind. The pool is outdoors. You know.
Oh, the
so-
pool's outdoors. Oh, okay, interesting. Well, you can do that here, right? The
Yeah,
pool?
yeah.
Well, you guys, you got this long history with the YMCA. You know all about it, but for people
I
like
know
me that aren't as in the know as Jeff is at all times. But no, really, tell me a little more about it, because when I was a kid, YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association, I thought it was just for kids. And the place I went swimming in Monroe, Louisiana,
Oh, yeah.
looked like, it was built in the 50s and hadn't been renovated. But you guys have got state-of-the-art workout facilities for all ages, and you're getting involved in all areas of the community. So
Yes.
give me a little bit of a bigger picture
I
for
wanna say
people that
something.
don't even know what the YMCA is.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. It's interesting. When I first started at the Y, Gary, within the first week, he took 4 of us, I think, to Dallas to look at 3 or 4 of their YMCA's, 3 or 4 of their top YMCA's, and what we have off of Clyde Fant exceeded anything we saw in Dallas. So people should really be
Nice.
aware and recognize how fortunate we are to have this beautiful YMCA off of Clyde Fant.
And Paul's getting to it, but the Y, to me, is always just, it's a gym, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of people thought of it, but it's way more than that.
Well,
now.
that's because you're a gym rat.
Yeah.
You've been in gyms all your life.
That's
You know,
right.
doing something, playing ball or
Yeah.
working out or what have you. But yeah, we're no longer a swimming gym only. We do have those components, but for instance, the BHPY on the front, there's 160 group exercise classes every week for every level, starting at 4 years old. We have a couple of guys who are 95, 96 that are in some chair classes, and so we have a multiple of programs within the building, programs for Parkinson's issues called Rock Steady Boxing, and we have a cancer survivor program that you get people back in society and have that fellowship and that social component to their medical history, and it makes a huge difference. We have a partnership with Feisweiler with the cancer survivors, and after the first week they call and say, "What are you guys doing?" You know, because they improved so much in just their mental attitudes and their physical self. You know, so we do a lot. Kids can start working out in classes at 4 years old. They don't know they're working out, but and then all the camaraderie, swim teams.
Swim for Life.
Yeah, Swim for Life. We run this program called Swim for Life as a result of the drowning that was on Red River a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so we helped develop that through the country. So every second grader in Caddo Parish comes to the BHPY, and the parish buses those children there on their dollar. It's a 4-day-a-week program. And so we go through the whole school year, and all the elementary schools during the school term. There's usually about 3,000 kids. There's usually between 80 and 100 kids at the Y every day. They come in the mornings, and half are in a classroom and half are in the water, and then we flip them. So this is the 6th year, but after 5 years, we had 15,000 kids come through that program.
There's
So
a
it's
classroom
incredible.
component to that. Huh?
Yes. That's an out of water safety and an in water safety
Nice.
program. When I was coaching at Halton, and another result, there's a kid named Joe Delaney, which a lot of people
Sure.
know that name.
Yeah, sure.
He was Rookie of the Year for Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
They were building a water park. I think it was Chenault Park maybe in Monroe, and a couple of kids fell in the water, and he jumped in to get them, couldn't swim and drowned.
Yeah.
So that's another, and we're working with his family to do some swim lessons for kids in Bossier, coming up.
Yeah,
So.
that's very good.
Yeah, when I first started working at the Y, I mean, one of the things Gary tasked me with, he said, we're doing all these things, but we're so busy, we're having a hard time telling our story. And so that was really the first thing he tasked me with. He said, we don't have time to record these events or take pictures or just collaborate with the media or just tell people everything we're doing. And so I did a deep dive, the first few months I was there, trying to figure out what all are you doing. And I put together a document with a couple other people at work to explain everything that the Y is doing. It's over a 10-page document that explains all the different programs and services that we're offering.
And you're branching out into other things now, like was it last August? That was last August. My goodness, it was a year ago already. The first forum in the mayor's
Shreveport
race
mayoral
was
race.
held at the BHP YMCA.
Well, you know, similar to what you're doing here, I told Jeffrey, I'm from a small town, Cotton Valley, and some people in Shreveport think this is a big city. But it's similar in a lot of ways. I've been here a long time, so I know a lot of people, and people are so negative sometimes about Shreveport Bossier. Let's start accentuating positive things. And so Jeffrey started a podcast and these discussion forums. It used to be called in the Mark Twain days, Lyceum Lectures. And so we started,
that term,
we started these panel discussions. We've had the mayor's race, we've had one on philanthropy, not just to give to the Y, but in general, one on economic impact.
It's called, the whole initiative is called Shreveport Bossier, My City, My Community, My Home. So it consists of these weekly interviews, our podcast, and then also these periodic community panels. So we hosted 5 in 2022. We've hosted one so far this year on juvenile and young adult crime, and we're working on others.
Well, the first one with the mayor, you guys had a huge crowd. It was big. I'm just curious how the other ones have
They've
drawn.
been phenomenal.
Okay.
Really, what I say the genesis of this initiative is I was having a discussion at the Y with Bubba Raspberry, who's one of the most well-known philanthropists in town, and he was telling me all these interesting observations and thoughts he had about the community, and I just felt like other people should be hearing what he had to say. And I said, would you be willing to come to the gymnasium and sit on a panel with my mom, who's been very involved in the community, Sylvia, and a couple of other local leaders, and talk about how you view the community? And so that was sort of the start of this. Not everyone can go to the Shreveport Club, or not everyone is a member of Committee 100. Not everyone can go to the Petroleum Club. So, let's open up these discussions to the whole community, and that was kind of the impetus for how this got started.
Okay, so you have the BHPY. That's the newest one. You have the one you're building.
Yes.
You still have the classic downtown. Are those
which is going to celebrate its 100th year in 2025.
Really?
So it opened in 1925. So we'll definitely do something big for that.
Yeah, well, you certainly should. So those are the 3 branches you have right now.
And then I walked into a great situation, so let me make sure everyone knows this. I can't take any credit for anything. When I started at the Y, BHP was open and thriving, and it was already this incredible thing. But they had always envisioned BHP as a campus. So a campus consisting of 3 components. You would have the BHPY, which is now open. You would have the baseball and softball complex, which we've now acquired and are going to be turning into a tournament grade youth baseball and softball complex. And then we also own 110 plus acres along Preston that ultimately will be an outdoor education center. So it'll be this tremendous campus. It's already this tremendous destination, but it's only going to get even more appealing and exciting as we move forward.
And that's what we're trying to be a part of building this community better. We're not the end-all solution. We want to be a part, an important part to develop quality of life and talk and also economic impact. Jeffrey can talk about that with the baseball.
Well, I did want to talk about that. Like I said, people think of the YMCA as, like you say, gym and swim.
Yeah.
Swim and gym.
But it's a nice gym. I mean, it's a great place if you want to join a gym, locally, and it's a good place to go look at. Can people go just for a day tour if they don't want to join?
You can come in as a guest. You can go take a tour. Our staff will give you a tour of all the facilities. You can sign up for orientation, and somebody can show you how to use all the machines and different aspects of there, and look at the class, experience some of the classes, and see what you like.
And it's so hard to describe everything we do. I mean, really the best way I've found personally to describe it today is just we're a community center. And I think that's what we're trying to build community. We're trying to bring people together, and we have this incredible location, this incredible place where people can gather and be together.
And we should mention that it's the Young Men's Christian Association, but it's not limited to guys.
Right. Yeah, we had to let women come in 1983, and they've been a great boost to our to our organization.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been wonderful to have that component in kids. I mean, if you go out there like we at the BHPY where we have a competition pool and a family pool, people will come and put their child in child watch. There's a couple, they work out and they get their child and go get in the pool, so they can stay there a couple hours.
You guys
and
have huge swim meets there too, right?
Yes, we've had state swim meets, state high school swim meets, state club meets.
We have the largest competitive swim program in the area. A lot of people know COST, which historically was the large competitive swim team in town. City of Shreveport swim team is what COST stands for. And maybe 18 to 24 months ago, they merged with us, or we acquired, obtained COST. So the Y now has the largest competitive swim program in the area.
Well, I'm interested in that because my daughter back in Georgia was a very, very good swimmer.
Yeah.
She got burned out though after high school, and you know,
it's a tough sport.
Started at 5 years old and practiced 2 days or 2 times a day before school, after school, and she burned out. And there's no off season in swimming. None.
Right.
I mean, you might get like 2 weeks here, and that's about it.
They take off in August, and then they get back after it again. You know, so.
When it's finally warm enough to get in the water.
That's right. And we've had kids to get scholarships to Texas A&M and get full rides in different colleges. You know, since we've been doing this.
Is there going to be a pool at the Ellerbe location as well?
Yes, there'll be a 6-lane pool with another family area and a separate splash pad. It'll all be outdoors. So we've had some people requesting that outdoor facility be heated. So
and ultimately another aspect of it'll be called the Lash Family YMCA at Camp Forbing Town Center, but another transformative aspect of that facility is we own land. For anyone that knows where the location is, we own the land behind Kroger all the way up to the railroad tracks, and ultimately that will contain 2 to 3 full-size athletic fields, and we'll run a portion of our youth sports, which we hadn't talked about yet, but we currently have Y soccer, Y basketball, Y flag football, Y volleyball, and we'll run a portion of our youth sports from the Ellerbe location. So for families that live in South Shreveport to be able to go watch their kids or grandkids play soccer or flag football and not have to go all the way to Cargill, I mean, that's going to be really a game changer.
Yeah.
Well, and the impact of the impact you guys have on the community, one, like I said, the physical health, which is what I always thought about, but also the economic and political. You guys are having these forums to inform people. I like what you said, where a guy maybe not get invited to the Committee of 100 meeting, but he gets invited to this, which we invite Jeff to these meetings.
I appreciate it.
true.
But the economic development of these big sports coming to town, you know, talk about that.
Well, that youth baseball, that travel baseball, that's big time.
It's crazy. Yeah. So this has been an interesting project. It's more than an $8 million project. A capital campaign that we put together that we've achieved and obtained. We received $1.5 million approximately from the state initially through capital outlay to purchase the land. The land was owned historically by the Hamels family. And then we received, in subsequent years, we received $1.5 million from the city of Shreveport. We received $2 million from Caddo Parish. We received upwards of $2 to $3 million from local families, from local foundations. So it's been this tremendous project, and a lot of it is because people, not only is it much needed, but people see the economic benefit for it. So we had the Shreveport-Bossier Sports Commission conduct an economic impact study on it, and they estimated a $5 million economic impact just in year one.
Nice.
And so we need this. We don't have anything that's bringing baseball tournaments or softball tournaments to town. All of our families who have kid baseball or softball are having to travel every week because we don't have what is necessary. And the big thing that determines whether or not you can host tournaments is, do you have artificial turf? And so we don't have any baseball or softball complexes in Shreveport with artificial turf. So the reason this is a costly project is we're going to be putting artificial turf down on all 8 infields, and that way tournaments will commit to you, because even if there isn't great weather, they can still play.
Are you going to be doing a redesign on like concession areas and all that stuff?
Yeah, they really don't. You know, the last couple of years they didn't have concession or restrooms, so we'll actually have concessions and restrooms.
Nice.
Then we'll also partner with Bossier, where Bossier just completed the Tinsley ball fields. There's 10 fields there, so we'll have 18 fields that we can have large tournaments. And we have the infrastructure, the hotels, the restrooms, and
we'll have
the restaurants
working scoreboards finally.
And if you build it, they will come, right?
They'll come. You know, to have that many ball fields, and people can stay here actually, and again, bringing both communities together to work together on something.
That's a sweet project. I really like the sound of all of that. You guys are moving and shaking, man.
there's a lot to be done. A lot of opportunity.
And here's something I love the sport of lacrosse. People laugh at me, but I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's highly skilled.
Yes.
There's that physical component of it
Yes.
yet still. It's kind of like hockey,
Right.
almost on land. And you guys should get into that, really.
Well, we we had a youth program for a while, and they didn't. And lacrosse actually is the best sport to have because the parents don't know much about it. they don't. There's nothing for them to yell at, or tell us what to do. So we're looking at those kind of things.
Are you?
We're providing space for that too.
That's fantastic. Let me know. I'll try to help you with that one.
Really, our MO, I think, is because I know Gary was telling Paul before we started. I mean, we're lean and mean as an organization. I mean, we're doing all these things, but we only have 10 to 12 full-time staff members. The rest of our staff are part-time. I mean, these are front desk staff, group exercise instructors, personal trainers, swim instructors. And so, the key for us is, I mean, we're constantly looking around going, how can we maximize what we have? How can we be efficient with what we have? And where does the community need us the most? And where can we plug in? And so, we're constantly trying to figure out, where is there a void? Where is there a gap? And is that a place that we can actually service and support?
So Jeff is an example of one of those 12 people. That's why we can do that kind of stuff, because we have incredible staff.
Yeah.
The full-time staff. So
You gotta. I mean, doing this is great, but you gotta let people know what's going on. I mean, obviously, a lot of people already know, but you gotta toot your own horn a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe produce some TV spots or like a documentary.
Yeah.
And you're doing this podcast. When you do the podcast, what kind of things are you featuring on there? What are your topics?
Yeah, I mean, really, I think our approach for the podcast was let's tell the story of the community. And from as many aspects as we possibly can. I mean, I use the word kaleidoscopic, so let's take a kaleidoscopic view at this community. And so, I want to represent what this community looks like and who's out there doing important work that maybe hasn't been highlighted or maybe not enough people know about. So I'm constantly kind of pushing myself to expand my knowledge of this community. I tell people I feel like I'm getting my PhD, even though I grew up here and I've lived here probably 80% of my life. I feel like I'm getting my PhD on Shreveport Bossier.
So it's not just about YMCA.
It's not at all
Right.
about YMCA. In fact, there probably 95% of the episodes YMCA doesn't even come up.
Wow, really? Okay, well, you need to talk more about the YMCA.
Jeffrey's
a
done a
great
great job of that, because again, I have all the pictures of different events, but we would have a kid triathlon and then we'd have ball games, and I didn't have time to talk about it because you had to go to the next event. And so that's what Jeffrey's been able to break that down and put that information out in the community as to what we're doing.
Obviously, you guys are getting a great response. I mean, I don't know what the membership is over at the BHP,
Yes.
but it's got to be
Tremendous,
big.
yes.
Will there be spillover between that and the new location?
There's really only a couple hundred people who are members at BHP that live in that southeast Shreveport.
Okay.
What's the location of the BHP?
3455 Knight Street. So at the corner of Preston and Knight, just off the Preston exit off Clyde Fant.
Okay.
And
You obviously haven't been there.
No, I haven't been to
You need to
YMCA
come,
since I
it's
was in
amazing.
sixth grade.
Jeff will tell you it's amazing.
we've got him committed to a tour.
Yeah.
I'm coming to a
But then
tour.
in southeast Shreveport, there's 14 to 20,000 rooftops, and there's no school. There's a private school, but there's no really playground areas or space for people to congregate. And even David Alvis with Silver Star wants to have some summertime concerts and spring concerts on the ball fields.
Nice.
So it's going to enhance that development along with just having something to do out there.
I mean, the facility there is great. I'm just curious, is there will it grow? Is there room to
Yes.
expand on that?
When we planned this, I had a company that does nothing but design YMCA's, and so we left some room to the north side to be able to expand, from what we need out there.
Yeah, that's very
We
cool.
have about 18 acres we kept.
Okay. What would you add at this point if you were going to add something?
We would probably expand some of the outdoor workout activities,
Okay.
put some turf out there and do some things like that.
Because I drive by there and I see guys dragging weights out and stuff, and we're working outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think expanding probably the CrossFit area, expanding into another group exercise. Group exercise is tremendous.
Yeah.
And so we could expand out to that. Like I said, when you have 160 classes per week at one
That's a lot.
location, it's going to be duplicated down there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be geared to that neighborhood and things that they need in classes and childcare and programs like that. So,
How big's the basketball? It's Saturday basketball, right?
You know, that's grown pretty big, Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday,
you know,
okay.
people come in, they can pay a day fee if they'd like to. And of course, we try to convince them, if you come 3 times, you might as well join, you know, 3
Yeah.
times a month.
But you have youth leagues and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have basketball. Those have grown. There'll be over 1,000 kids
Wow.
playing sport, which this gym is going to help us because we were at gyms all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, even the downtown Y, which is a small gym, as you know there.
Yeah.
But so this gym will help to put those kids in a good location close to where they live.
I haven't been to the downtown Y in probably 2 or 3 years, but
Yeah.
I went through there, and so you have 2 things in there that I really like. You have a steam room.
Yes.
I love a steam room, and you had some old racquetball courts in
Yes,
there. They
yes.
were not in good shape.
No.
Have you done
We-
anything?
actually-
I love racquetball.
It's interesting you asked that. So we were fortunate to get some dollars from the state this year. We got another $2 million from capital outlay to go towards the baseball construction. But I have $1 million sum of dollars for the BHPY and some projects in that area, and $500,000 downtown. So one of those things is we're going to redo those racquetball courts and the gym, and we're going to redo some HVAC, and some of that stuff you won't know. You'll feel it, but
Yeah.
you maybe not notice some of that.
And for people that don't know, the Y, for the most part, is a nationwide program. So locally, when you join the Y, you'll have access to,
Yes.
we have 2 branches right now, soon 3. So for 1 membership fee, you can access any of those locations. But also when you travel,
Yeah.
if there's a Y in the location where you are, you should be able to access it at no additional cost.
And even though we had money from the state's a one-time thing, so we still
Yeah.
have and Jeffrey can talk about an annual campaign that we do that he operates and runs, that we have a program that subsidizes a family or an individual's membership or program fee up to 50% based on household income. And so we don't want to turn anybody away due to finances. And so he can talk to that as far as.
Well, it is such an interesting business model because it's a
Yes.
nonprofit organization, but you're obviously serving the community and you're bringing economic impact.
Yes.
But people are very generous. They want to support
Yes.
you. Why do you think they've
Yes.
been so supportive of the Y?
You want me to
Why?
answer?
Why?
You
Go
want me
ahead.
to
I've got an answer. You go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're doing a good job telling our story. I think people recognize that we're
Well
an
done.
important component of this community. We're good stewards of the money we receive, and we're working hard to prove our value day in, day out. And I think we're an important quality of life addition to this community, and we're an important economic
Yeah.
driver for this.
I don't want
community.
to sound corny or cheesy, but I think you guys have traditional American family values, and they like that, and they buy into it, and they try to surround themselves
I think
with
it's a
it.
great point.
Well, and if you come in, you will see a cross section of everybody in our community working together. And you know, I'm prejudiced towards sports, bringing people together, and you'll see people who get to know each other in no other place but that Y, and they become
Yeah.
lifelong friends. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
from
true.
that, and know each other's families, or kids playing ball together. They find out that you're not such a bad guy, and their families come together and they bring refreshments and
Yeah.
stuff to ball games. So that's a big piece of why. And when I came into the Y, they had I guess a history of, in this annual campaign, they would try to find somebody to give them $100,000, and that's limited.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Jeffrey came in, I said, let's change this up. So he will do a campaign. When you come in the Y, you see a lot of banners of family names or individuals' names, and those are $1,000. And so we've taken that down to get more people involved, but ask for less money, because there's just a certain few families that could do those kind of numbers.
Right.
But everybody seems to say, I can give $1,000 to help these kids, and be it swim team or basketball, like you say, or soccer, flag football, and what have you. So we've been able to show with Jeffrey the benefit of having a Y in a community.
And I think what Gary's saying, just one thing I was going to say is, I think the Y, really what we have today, is the best vision of Shreveport-Bossier, the best vision of what Shreveport-Bossier is, and the best vision of what Shreveport-Bossier can be.
Well, it's been impressive, and you guys, with all the things that you're doing, you are a nonprofit, but
Yes.
you do compete against for-profit like health clubs and
Yes.
stuff like that. I mean, how does that work? Is there?
There's been issues because we're a nonprofit. Obviously, you don't pay taxes to some degree. Now we pay sales taxes on things, but if you looked at the numbers, and this has been challenged a few times around the country, we give away more dollars in that through that annual campaign in subsidizing families than we would pay taxes if we were taxing those same things. Now we pay a lot of taxes and sales tax and that kind of thing.
Sure.
But because of that, then you earn your nonprofit status by giving back, and so it's a tremendous amount of money that we give back in scholarship to families. So.
And I think one reason we've been able to grow and be successful is that Gary views, I think the best nonprofits operate like businesses, and they are businesses, and Gary views and operates RY like a business. And it's important that we run at a profit.
I'm just curious, is that, I don't know if is the word jealousy? I mean, did these other for-profit?
Sometimes that comes up, but again, I'd say almost 100% of them don't want kids.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And so we want those families, and we supervise them. We teach them how to act and stuff, but we want the whole family to come in, be it 2 90-year-olds or a family with 10 kids or 2 kids, So that's a niche that we have in bringing families and community together.
Yeah. So what's the plan for the Forbing campus? I mean, what's the timetable? How's that going to progress?
Contractor talk for the middle of October.
This October?
Yeah.
To start or be finished?
No, if you drive by
be
there,
finished.
it's fully
Is it
up.
really?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
contractor talk.
Okay, I got you.
But
And it's a contractor listening here, so no.
hopefully open the first week in November. I told them I don't want to miss the let's lose weight business during the holidays and all that kind of
Right.
thing, and those
November
activities.
2023 is the time. If you're listening to this in the future,
That's
the Y's already open.
That's right. And of course, having that gym, then our basketball, we start basketball in January. So we'll go out there and play basketball in the gym with kids. But that's what we're hoping to do is get that open. And, it's big facilities. There's only 4 offices in the thing. So you're building big facilities, big areas. So it cleans up pretty fast.
I guess I didn't realize you were that far along already.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that makes point. I forget how seasonal every business is seasonal in different ways. Like for me,
Yes.
when I owned the Sonics, the restaurants, January, February were horrible.
Oh, really?
Everyone was broke and they were on a diet. It was terrible.
They're at the Y trying to lose weight.
But they're going to spend those first 4 weeks at the Y trying to lose weight, but they give up and they come back.
That's right. That's right.
How much
Well,
does
no,
it
what they do is they start a workout program. After you come 12 times, you know anything. It's a habit.
Oh,
right?
there you go.
Yeah.
But I can justify everything I eat at the Sonic
That's
because
right.
I'm working out.
Start working out. Then you can treat yourself and you go
right.
get some ice cream.
All right, we're down to about our last minute here. So what are some closing thoughts you guys would like to leave folks with about the Y?
Well, I tell you, I really appreciate you doing these podcasts to emphasize the good things that are going on in Shreveport and Bossier, and that's what we're trying to do is to build that up, build the good nature, and then to attract, take care of the community that's here and attract other businesses to come in and take advantage of the good people that live in this area. It's tremendous.
You guys are doing great. Final thoughts from you?
I think there's a lot of people like you guys, like us, that are working hard to make this community a really attractive place and make it everything we want to live in and to have as a community. So appreciate you having us, and look forward to what the future holds for Shreveport Bossier.
All right, very
Well,
good.
I know that's top of mind because, and we were talking before, Gary said, so you sold your businesses, you could move anywhere. Why do you stay here? I said, I love Bossier. It's like, that's right. And you went right into talking about the benefits of this community. So it's definitely something you live every day. Me, I'm just excited about the opportunity to join the Y and, join Jeff in the steam room.
Oh God! Okay, edit.
So that's going to be your sales slogan
And
right
with
there.
that, that, we will bring to a close another edition.
I hope
of
you got room.
Good to know Shreveport Bossier.
gonna
We'll be
get
back
busy.
with another edition next week. Have a good one, everybody.